Hi everyone, welcome back to another video of Yapper Therapy podcast. And my name is Prax, and I am your host. Never gets old, but yeah, welcome to another episode. Please ignore my room. It is an absolute mess because it just is. Okay, it's an absolute mess. But I decided that I am just going to make this video because I have been working so hard. Okay, I have been working so hard lately and I feel like I've been missing daylight. Because, first of all, UK winter is dark even before you know it, okay? It's already, there's no sun. The whole country is a rainy weather. So I decided that I am just going to make the video because otherwise I will not make it. And I have been working a lot and I have so much assignments to do. And so I decided that I'm just going to make this video. So today's video, I decided that I want to. So I keep saying video, but different platforms I have different. Some of them I have audio, some of them I have video. So this podcast, I decided to record this episode because I thought um, I don't want to give myself an excuse not to. So today's episode is going to be 5 things that I have learned in 2024. Sorry, I don't know why I had a long pause, but yeah, 5 things that I've learned this year. So 2024 is almost over. I cannot believe where this year went. It went by so quick. And so for me, I thought it was finally time to have some self reflection. I actually first decided to do 24 things this year, but then I realized that 24 would be too long and I just didn't want to drag it. So I thought of doing 10. But then while I was making the list, I couldn't really get up to 10. So I was like, you know what? I've learned 5 things, 5 important things. So I will keep it to 5 things I've learned this year. Also, if you see this effect, it is because I am recording on my laptop, on the Photobooth app, on my MacBook, but using my phone camera and this mic. It's a crazy thing, okay? I just explored about it and I will take what I get, okay? So let's get into the list. 5 things. Okay. Number one. Let me see, I have this written down. Okay. Number one. Values change with circumstances. So don't judge others for not having the same values as yours. This, if I could sum up, like if I could just say one, this was the one I'll be talking about. But I can say 5 because it's my podcast and I can. So, that's so sassy. But this one, basically, I have always been the type of person to have I'm a very opinionated person, according to my boyfriend. He's not wrong. Um, there are some things that I draw, as personal beliefs and values, and I think that sometimes I take things a little bit too far. For example, let's say, this again isn't a complete example. The only reason I'm using an example instead of an actual thing that happened is because I just don't think I'm too comfortable sharing it on public. But as I was saying, so this year, let's say since the beginning of time for me, I've always thought that I would never eat a burger, and I pride myself for being someone who would never eat a burger. And it's not like I've judged other people for eating burgers, but I've always wondered why. Why are you eating burger when you could just have, a wrap or a roll? I don't know. You get what the point. So I've always judged myself, not myself. No. I don't think I've judged others because let's say if you want to eat a burger, sure, go ahead. It doesn't really affect me. I don't really care. But me eating burger, I've always been very prideful of this. I have always said I will never eat a burger. I do not. That is not what I stand for. That is not me. If the day ever comes when I have to choose, I will choose not to eat a burger. Up until this year, that was my point. But this year, I had to choose to eat a burger. because circumstances change. And I was in a situation where I had no other options. I had other options, but eating a burger was the one that made sense the most. And first, when I was in that situation, I felt so much pain because not only because I had to eat a burger, but because I have been preaching about it my whole life that I will never eat a burger. And I felt like such a hypocrite, such a hypocrite. And I felt like I was a scam. My words felt like it was a scam. And it's something I'm still struggling with. But out of that experience, what came out of that experience was that I realized that, you know, telling myself that I will. Did the video stay? Yeah, it's going. Okay. Sorry, my laptop just turned off. Um, but telling myself that I'll never eat a burger and having to eat a burger, I realized that oftentimes we have these certain values. I have certain values, and it's better to shut up about your values because when you know when you preach too much about things you will never do, and the day comes when you have to do it, you feel like a scam, exactly the way I did. So that's definitely one thing. And I've learned that if others want to eat a burger or whatever, you know what, at this point, it's not just even about burgers. If anyone else wants to do something, I am no one to talk about it. I am not even going to say I will never do something in the future because I've learned my lesson. Things like these happened and happen, and there are things, even no matter how much you believe you'll never do that, you might end up in a situation where you have to do it. And it's best, not to publicly announce your beliefs that much because when you end up doing it, you will feel like a scam. People will think you're a scam. So sometimes don't be so unopinionated because it will come back and bite you in the fucking ass. So yeah, I know I'm being a bit too harsh on myself, but I do feel like it. I feel like I have to be harsh with myself because otherwise I do feel like a hypocrite. And I think this whole burger thing literally just wrecked my, not belief. Yeah, it did wreck my belief, and I'm so ashamed of it. But I'm also very upset that I broke a rule within myself, but I didn't have a choice. I also forgive myself because I didn't have a choice. So yeah, don't, be too prideful about your own values, and don't ever say I will never do something because someday you might have to, and you're gonna feel shit when you have to do that, and your whole life you spent saying you'll never do that. So yeah, that's one. Number two, um, don't expect others to treat you the way you would treat them. This has been such a massive thing I've had to deal with this year, especially when it came to, starting a new uni and starting a new job. I have always been the type of person who used to say that, I still say it, that treat others the way you wish to be treated. This year, I have learned the true meaning and the differences, not meaning, true difference between the line treat others the way you wish to be treated and expect, don't expect others to treat you the way you would treat them, because those are completely two different parallels. I took that as the same thing, and I started, getting really upset over small things that the way other people behaved, because I kept thinking, oh, if I was in their place, I would never do that, I would never say that, or I would, I would have done something differently. Here's the thing, that person is not me. So expecting something from that person to be the same reaction as I would have, or the same behavior that I would, show, is completely unfair on that human being. Also unfair on me, because that is setting myself with completely unrealistic expectations, because that person is not me. So hence, they're not going to behave the way I would behave. As simple as that. Me, I didn't understand that. I took everything by heart. I was judging people around me, judging close people, judging new people. I was so upset because I kept feeling like, oh, I would not do that. I will never do that. I would have done this way. I would have done that way. Or, you don't say these things. I would have never said things like that. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have. I probably wouldn't. But here's the thing, that doesn't matter because I am not them. No, they are not me. And so expecting them to treat me how I would treat them is definitely not the same as, treat others the way you wish to be treated, because I can control what I can do. I can decide to behave in a more loving, kind way. But if someone else is shit to me, right, there's nothing I can do to change that, because they are going to be shit to me. Or if someone says something in a different tone, it doesn't matter because they are different and they're not going to be me. If all that, I probably would have just, it's like saying, like, if I want my partner, I've actually had to deal with this with my partner. There were times when he would do something and I would think to myself that, oh yeah, I wouldn't have done this, I would have done that. But here's the thing, I'm not dating me, I am not dating myself, I am dating another human being. Hence, well, how he behaves is definitely going to be different to how I would behave. And if, he didn't meet my expectations, the simplest thing to do is actually tell him that, oh, you did this, I was upset. But instead, I got so upset, I got so, mad about certain things that, oh, I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have done that. So, yeah, main story, do not judge, do not expect from people that they're going to treat you the way you would treat them, because they're not you. And so you can only control what you can do. And that is why taking things like that by heart will only wreck you, because it's not going to do anything to them. They probably don't even know that you're upset. They don't even know that, you're offended or you're upset or you're completely wrecked by something they did. So just be you, be good. You be a good person. You treat them the way you would have wanted them to treat you. But don't expect the same back, because you're going to be met with disappointment, you're going to be met with heartbreak, you're going to be met with like sadness. So don't do that. Don't do what I did. Do not be like me. I am Bob. Do not be like Bob. Okay, number 3. I feel like I'm just kind of doing like a YouTube video, but like I'm not. I'm conscious of that. Number 3. Oh, my palms so sweaty. Also, if I keep looking down, it's because my camera is like here, but like my screen's here where I can see myself, but my camera's up there. So yeah, just don't mind me. Just listen to my voice. I know it's not the most pleasing, but I have interesting things to say. So yeah. Number 3. Nothing is worth being broke. Not even fucking love. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain why I'm saying this, right? Why I learned this year. As a lot of you might know, I went to Canada this year, and my boyfriend lives in Canada. And one of the main reasons I went to Canada was because I wanted to spend some time with him. Also, I got into this amazing university called University of British Columbia for a summer program, and it's one of the top universities in the world, blah, 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 blah. It's amazing. But the main story is that he lived there. I spent a ridiculous amount of money to go there. Ridiculous amount of money. Nothing a 20-something-year-old should be spending. But I did. I absolutely emptied all my accounts. I maxed out my credit card, and I borrowed money from people. Only for that 1.5 month of fun. Let's keep it PG, but fun. And that was absolutely unfair of me to do, because I completely, wrecked my bank account. I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I traveled a lot. I, had so many experiences. I got to have so many nice moments with my boyfriend. But when I came back to the UK, and it was also a time when I just freshly graduated, and I moved back to London. I needed a job. I was going to start masters, and you don't get you don't get maintenance loan for masters, and you get a very certain amount for masters. I actually needed the money at that time the most, but I was broke. Not only was I broke, I was in a minus. I was in debt from bank, my like family members, even like friends. And so I struggled so badly because I did not know how to be like okay without that financial, like I had nothing to stand on. I didn't have a penny to my name, and I have been working nonstop and so hard like the last couple months just to pay off the loan, just to pay off the debt, just to pay off like my family members, because it is so embarrassing to owe money to people and live a life. Because hear me out, right? Maybe, just maybe, let's say you owe me money, right? And you don't really care. It's okay. I'll give you the money when you want, like when I can. But let's say I went to the cinema. You saw my story. I went to the cinema. You might think that, oh, it's fine. Like, yeah, she's enjoying. Like, great, amazing. You might not even think twice that, oh, I lent her money. But me? No, 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 no. What I do is I would go to the cinema, come back, and I'd be terrified to tell the person I owe money to that I went to the cinema. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, that was 10, 15 pounds I spent. I could have spent that much, I could have given that much money back to that person, but it's so stressful being in debt to someone. And your credit card, you think it's just you think that it's just your credit limit. No, 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 the interest adds up, and before you know it, it's bad. There was a point where my interest was over 100, and that's a lot. Like I am in debt in four figures, okay? So that is very stressful. That is extremely stressful. So you love someone, you want that experience, but sometimes, as much as I love my boyfriend, sometimes being that much in debt just to have that experience is not worth it. Yes, money comes and goes, but money goes so much faster than it comes back. And that is something they do not tell you. Something your brain wouldn't even like explain it to you in that moment where you're thinking, oh, let me just spend that money. So please, for the love of God, you independent girlies, boys, everyone, human being, do not spend money. Do not, no, no, spend money. Do not go fucking broke just to enjoy something. Because yes, the memories will last, but this moment of where you have to work so hard to repay back, or be in a better financial standing, is extremely difficult, and it will take a toll on your mental health so badly. So make a savings account. Do not take out of that savings account. Do not loan money from your friends or family knowing that you don't know when you can pay them back. Oh my god, that's the biggest one. Do not take money from people without knowing exactly when you can give the money back, because I took the money not knowing when I can give them back. And that stress has been building up, and I have been in so much stress. I am working even now. I'm working literally 5 days a week, plus being a student, only so that I can pay back my debt and people I owe money to. Don't do that to yourself. Please don't do that to yourself. Okay, number 4. Family means everything, so make time for them. If you don't know, I went to Bangladesh this year. So I was born and raised in Bangladesh. I moved to the UK 6 years ago, and I have not been back to Bangladesh in 6 years. I have so many cousins, so many nieces and nephews. I have so many family members in Bangladesh that it's a list. It's a list that will go on and on and on. Some of them I left when I left 6 years ago. Some of them were literally tiny human beings. They were literally this small, right? They were like babies, okay? And now when I've gone back, they are all so freaking grown up. I don't know how kids grow up that quickly, but they do. There's even so many cousins who are like my age. They are in a different place in their life, and there's so much going on in everyone's lives. After leaving Bangladesh, moving to UK for 6 years, after like the last 6 years, I have been very unorganized with my life, unorganized with my communication. I had different priorities, and one of them was not my cousins, not my family members. I'm the only child, so my cousins are literally my siblings. I've treated all of them like like my siblings. So when I went back and I realized that they had their own, individual lives, and they were having their own fun, and they were living their, whatever they were up to, I had that really big feeling where I was not part of it. And I used to be such a big part of everyone's life, right? Back in Bangladesh, I used to be such a, life of the party kind of situation, life of, the family. And when I moved, because I didn't speak to people for so long, or like barely, maybe through social media, or like comments and likes, things like these, or just wishing them on happy birthday, I forgot that I was not making that effort to, you know, get to know how they're doing, because I was so busy just organizing my life and dealing with the shit things I had to deal with. And I was so upset because I didn't feel like I was a part of their life. But then when I came back and I was, thinking about it, I realized that I made no effort to be a part of their life. Why am I upset that I'm not a part of their life? So, if you have family members you are close with, but, maybe not in a distance way, or maybe just, don't have the time, make the time, because they'll have things going on in their life you wouldn't know through social media. You will not know through be reels and, Facebook or Instagram stories or Snapchat snaps. Nothing. You're not gonna know them unless you actually speak to them and ask them how they're doing. So if you ever feel that way, that, you feel like you're not the life of the party, you feel like you don't know what's going on, it's because you're not making the effort to actually know what's going on. I learned that the hard way. And I have been trying to be a better cousin, to be a better something, right, in my family. And so I really hope that I am doing a good job. But I definitely feel like I know them a lot more now. But it was painful when I went back, because I thought, everyone's gonna, like, I'm not gonna say drop everything and just, hang out with me. More like, I'm gonna know exactly what's going on. Like, but I didn't. People had partners, some of them had a lot of different things going on in their lives, jobs, relationships, just friendships, and I felt like I was not a part of them. Not only was I not a part of them, I didn't even know what was going on, and that was so upsetting. I felt like I was such a letdown to you, my family, because I'm a family girly. I love being with my cousins. I'm a very family based. I barely have any, like, I have few close friends, and they are also like family to me. So I don't have like a massive friends group, because I grew up with like 30 plus cousins. So yeah, if you have family you're very close with, make sure you make the fucking time to be with them, because that is so important. Finally, friends will come and go. That does not mean that you are unlovable. This made I feel like this revelation only happened this year, because I have been, making friends, losing friends for eternity. And it's only recently that I've lost a couple really good friends, made a couple of new friends. And I feel like when it came to friends, every time someone would leave, I always was so harsh on myself. I always felt like, they left because I'm just not worth it. They don't love me, they don't want me, and I felt so unwanted, so unloved. And I took that as a statement about myself, and I took that as, oh, I'm just unlovable. But the reality is, right, that people leave for so many different reasons. You're not always the reason why. You are always not the problem. You might not even be the reason. There could be a completely different reason why someone left. A lot of the times, yes, you could be the reason, but not always. Even if you are, that doesn't make you unlovable. Things happen in life. It's okay. People will leave. You had an argument, people will leave. You had, falling out, people will leave. You barely have the time to meet, people will leave. It's okay. Friendships fade, but that does not mean you are just not lovable. Again, I say these things as you, but honestly I feel like I'm talking to myself, because I'm talking to literally a video version of me and the camera. So just because people left, doesn't mean that I'm not lovable, because there's so many reasons why. And if I start to, keep telling myself that I'm unlovable, I don't deserve, I'm unwanted, I don't deserve to be friends with someone, that is so unfair. Like, why would I do that to myself? Why am I doing that to myself, right? I still do. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, I never do that again. I feel like I still do that, but I understand that now it's not the most easiest thing to do. It's not the best thing to do. It's the easiest thing to do, but it's not the best thing to do. If you want to know why a friendship, went down, or something faded, go and ask them. Speak to them. If you have no way, it's okay. Grieve, be sad, tell yourself a different things. So this could be the reason, that could be the reason, but never, ever, ever take it as a statement that you are unlovable, because that's not true. You are definitely lovable. Everyone in this world is lovable. They just need to be loved by the right person. And that is such an important thing. You need to tell yourself, you need to, engrave it in your mind. You're not always going to be lovable to everyone. Different people will love you in different ways, but that does not mean you're unlovable. So I learned that in a very harsh way, because I felt like I was taking things so much too hard, and I felt like everyone who left just didn't love me. They just didn't want me. And now that I realized that there were so many reasons why, one of those reasons is not that I'm unlovable. It's just things happen. It's okay. I was upset, I grieved. You know, do the same. Take your time, grieve, be upset, stay in bed for 5, 6, 7 days, hours, months, whatever. Be upset for someone leaving, but do not ever take it into account that you are unlovable and that's why people left. Because that's not a reason. That is not something you're not that's not a reason. That's not practical. That's not logical. People leave for a reason. You being unlovable, me being unlovable is not a reason. It's completely irrelevant. It doesn't even exist. Lovable thing is very subjective. It's not a fact. It's not a fact that you're just unlovable. I'm just unlovable. People leave for different reasons. It's subjective. People leave for different things. So yeah, don't ever take that to heart, because don't ever, tell yourself that you're just unlovable, you're just unwanted, no one wants you, no one cares about you, because that's not true. The right person will, the right friend group will, all of it, someone will. And, if you meet someone who wouldn't, it's okay. That does not define you. It's just something's going on with them, maybe. So yeah, don't ever feel like that about yourself, please. Like, I feel like I have spent way too many hours stressing about stuffs like these, to and being upset about things like these. So don't tell that to yourself, please. So that is 5, and that has been a long time I have been speaking. I will stop yapping now, but I think, to kind of sum up 2024, it has been such a wonderful, wonderful year of my life. It has been a very stressful year of my life, but I have so much to be thankful for. I have such a wonderful family. I have such a wonderful friend group. I have such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful boyfriend. And altogether, I feel like this year has been absolutely amazing. I traveled so much, traveled so long distance. I went to Bangladesh, I went to Canada, I went to Umrah, I went to Saudi for Umrah. And it was such a great year as a I feel like this has been such a great year as a person, like a personal growth and a religious growth, and even a career wise. I changed careers. I went into psychology from business, and I am learning how to be better in every single role that I have in my life. And I think this year definitely helped me change a lot of my perspective, especially after studying psychology, starting this podcast, and really speaking about self-reflecting moments of self-reflection. I feel like this year has been absolutely amazing. So, oh yeah, my mic's working. So yeah, this year has been just what it should have been. it it has taught me so much, and After every experience, I have learned how to self reflect on what is going on and how I could, how I can be better. I think one of the things we miss out, like we don't think about, is your reaction to a situationship will, define who you are. Because if you are someone who something happens and you spend way too long just figuring out what you could have differently, you will never be able to move on. It literally physically and mentally stops you from moving on if you're so stuck in the past. Things will happen. Take your time, be upset about it. Again, grieve, be upset, be mad, but get up. Pick yourself up and think of what you can do differently next time, how you can react differently next time. Because no matter ifs and buts and this and that, it's not going to change what happened. You can't just go back and say, oh yeah, if I did this, and then suddenly just do that. That's not going to work. That's not how it works. So from now on, like anything happens, take a moment to self reflect and, make sure the next time this happens, you you deal with it differently. You deal with it in a better way. And every experience, you should be thinking, what can I learn? You shouldn't be thinking of, oh, why does this happen to me? Because there's literally no point. Those asking questions of why and ifs, it wouldn't change the past. The best you can do is ask yourself how you can do things differently. And that's something that was definitely going to help. And that's why I hope 2025 will bring me and will bring you all the ways you can be a better person. And things that you need to learn, I hope you learn them. Because there will be bad things that will happen, but you will always learn a lesson and always, always, always make you a better person if you choose to be a better person. So yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful year. Honestly, New Year is always the best time for me because New Year means my birthday, because literally in January is my birthday. So hooray. I'm gonna be 20 something. It's not fun, but I'm gonna be 20 something. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful time, and I will see you, speak to you in my next episode. And please take care of yourself. Hope you have a wonderful new year and love you. Bye.